Innovative Surface Solutions proudly presents Monkey Pads. Marble polishing made so easy, a monkey could do it. For fast and easy chemical and risk-free honing and polishing of marble, travertine, and limestone. Now you can polish stone like a pro. No chemicals, no risk, no stress. You're going to need a few simple tools: a squeegee, a set of monkey pads, a rotary floor machine or Simex, a wet vac or extractor, and a weighted drive plate if you're using a rotary machine. Monkey pads come in multiple sizes and grits to achieve a variety of finishes, using a 7-inch hand polisher for countertops, walls, and edges, a Simex planetary machine, or a 17 to 20-inch rotary floor polisher. As you can see, this once beautiful brown marble floor has completely lost its shine. In the next 5 minutes, we will show you how easy it is to bring back a mirror shine with monkey pads. Step 1. Make sure the area is clean and free of debris and abrasives. Okay, we're ready to get started. In this case, we have fairly severe damage, so we're going to start with the 800 grit red monkey pad. Go ahead and center the pad on the floor machine. Wet the floor with enough moisture to lubricate the pad. Excessive water is not necessary and will only make a mess. Choose a starting point 2 feet deep and 4 to 5 feet wide. Move the floor machine in a rectangular pattern counterclockwise for 30 to 45 seconds. Now check your work to see if you're ready to continue. Squeegee off the water and let dry to get a clear view. You should have a smooth, even finish. If you don't, then continue for another 30 seconds. Wet the next area. Move the floor machine in the same pattern for the same amount of time. Be sure to overlap the second section with the first by 4 to 6 inches. Always rinse thoroughly between grits. Notice how the center looks much better than the edges? Go back to the original starting point. Take off the red 800 grit monkey pad, rinse thoroughly, and set aside to dry. Place the purple 1500 grit monkey pad on the floor machine and repeat the same process, starting with a 2 foot deep by 4 to 5 foot wide section. Move the floor machine in a rectangular pattern counterclockwise for 30 to 45 seconds. Now check your work to see if you're ready to continue. Squeegee off the water and let dry to get a clear view. You should have a smooth, even finish. If you don't, then continue for another 30 seconds. Wet the next area. Move the floor machine in the same pattern for the same amount of time. Be sure to overlap the second section with the first by 4 to 6 inches. Remember, always rinse thoroughly between grits. With each grit, you'll notice an increase in color and reflection. Repeat these steps as you move up through the grits from lowest to highest. It's really that simple. Tip number 1. Clearly identify the desired result with your customer. Do they want their surface dull but smooth? Or a satin or low reflection finish? Or do they want a high polish? Tip number 2. To achieve the dull hone, you only need to do one step with the brown 200 grit monkey pad. Tip number 3. To achieve a satin hone, one step with the red 800 grit monkey pad is usually sufficient. Tip number 4. The higher number grit pad you are using, the less water you need to lubricate the pad. Tip number 5. Never let the surface dry while using the monkey pads. Tip number 6. Never use any chemicals during the buffing or rinsing phases. Use pure water only. Tip number 7. Always make sure you are finished with one grit before you move on to the next. The following test will help ensure that you are ready to move on to the next grit. After honing or polishing an area, it will be obvious that you have completed that grit if you continue to buff in one small section and that section looks the same as the surrounding area. Tip number 8. If after your final rinse there are any water spots, you can easily remove them by dry buffing with a white polishing pad. The beauty of using monkey pads goes far beyond the results. There is no risk because there's no need for acidic polishing compounds that can easily cause damage. Biodegradable, washable, reusable. On a flat surface, they'll last up to 5,000 square feet.